Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be going through the top 100 most popular releases for 2026 and seeing if I want to read any of them. So I feel like I am not very on the pulse when it comes to new releases for next year. I have not really been keeping up with it. I will kind of keep up with new releases from authors that I have read before, but I haven't been super into trying to see what's coming out, see what's new. And I feel like in this video, I'm wanting to see some popular books that are going to be published next year. I am always looking for new authors, new books, new series, just things that I haven't read before, and just also wanting to read things that might not be as popular. And so while I am going through the most popular books that are set to be published in 2026, I am also on the look for some that aren't as popular as well, just because I do want to diversify my reading a lot. And so sometimes that happens by reading books that aren't as popular. So I will be going through the top 100 to see if there's any that I am hoping to read. So let's go ahead and get on into it. We're just gonna go down the list one by one. So obviously starting with the very first two, these are ones that are popular. I've read books in these series, so I will say that I am interested in The Ballad of Falling Dragons by Sarah A. Parker. I read book one and I enjoyed it, so I definitely do want to pick up book two. Next we've got Burn of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This is book number 4 in the Kinder's Curse saga. I do want to read this. I have read the first 2 books in the series, so I do need to read book 3, but I do want to eventually get to book 4, so we're gonna add that to my want to read list. Next we've got Dear Debbie by Frida McFadden. Can't say that I'm super interested in this book. I've read a couple of Frida McFadden books and they just have not been my favorite, so we'll probably wait on a few more reviews on this one, but can't really see myself picking this one up. Next, number 4 is My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. And so this says, Eden Fox is an artist on the brink of her big break, sets off for a run before her first exhibition. When she returns to the home she recently moved into, an enchanting old house, nothing is as it seems to be. Her key doesn't fit. A woman eerily similar to her answers the door and her husband insists that the stranger is his wife. One house, one husband, 2 women. Someone is lying. I don't know. I feel like probably not. I feel like that one's kind of like a maybe, but probably not. Next we've got The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. This is the second book in the Say You'll Remember Me companion series. I didn't love Say You'll Remember Me, so I don't know. I feel like this one is a maybe. In everyone's life, there's a split-second decision that can change everything. For Larissa, it came when choosing which guy to ride home with after a concert. That night, she had no idea she'd met the perfect man. She and Chris are great together, co-parenting a slightly unhinged rescue Yorkie, sharing their favorite books and judging bread. For the first time, amid all their side hustles to scrape by, things finally feel easy, but Chris isn't the one who drove Larissa home all those months ago. Chris, her boyfriend's best friend. All Chris wants is for Larissa to be happy. Standing by on the sidelines is slowly killing him, but making a move would destroy someone else, and he's just not that guy. So it seems like she's in a relationship with his best friend, and they're like, but she's also his best friend. I don't know. I don't know. That one's a maybe. I don't really know about the premise. That doesn't really seem like it's interests me, but I don't know. I probably will end up reading it, but right now I feel like it's a maybe. Next we've got And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. This is probably going to be a no. I didn't absolutely love First Time Caller. It was all right to me. I don't think I liked it enough to read the second one, so I don't know. This one is a maybe, but a probably not. Next we've got Red God, which is Red Rising number 7. I DNF'd Red Rising, so it's gonna be a no for me. Next we've got It's Not Her by Mary Kubica. 2 families vacation at a secluded lake resort are at the center of a chilling crime and mysterious disappearance in this twisty, unput-downable thriller. I don't think this one's for me either. It says, Courtney Gray's tranquil family vacation is shattered when she hears a blood-curdling scream from the lakeside cottage next door. Then she finds the lifeless body of her brother and sister-in-law. Her teenage niece Reese is nowhere to be found, while her nephew Wyatt lies asleep upstairs unharmed. As the police descend on the quiet resort town, disturbing secrets about Courtney's family start to emerge when she learns that the town has secrets of its own. It makes her wonder if Reese is another victim in a brutal crime or if she's the killer. As Courtney begins to unravel the terrible mystery, she realizes that everyone around her has something to hide, and the closer she gets to the truth, the harder it is to see. Yeah, don't think that one's for me. Next, we've got King of Gluttony, which is King of Sins number 6. I'm on book 2 in this series, so I could potentially get to this book, but don't see it happening anytime soon. Next is The Astral Library by Kate Quinn. I don't think I've read anything from this author before, and it says, comes so gorgeously written fantastical adventure which poses the question, have you ever wished you could live inside of a book? Welcome to the Astral Library, where books are not just objects, but doors to new worlds, new lives, and new futures. Alexandra Alex Watson has learned one lesson from her barren childhood in the foster care system. Unlike people, books will never let you down. Working 3 dead-end jobs to make ends meet and knowing college is a pipe dream, Alex takes nightly refuge in the high vaulted reading room at the Boston Public Library, escaping to her favorite fantasy novels and dreaming of far-off lands until a day she stumbles through a hidden door and meets the librarian, an ageless guardian of a hidden library where the desperate and the lost escape new lives inside their favorite books. Yeah, I can't say that one is very interesting to me. I can't say I'm interested in that at all. Next is The Daisy Chain Flower Shop. This is Dream Harbor number 6. Have not read a single book in this series, so don't know if I will, but as of right now, no. Heartstopper Volume 6. I think I've read like the first 3 Heartstopper books. I want to say I do own the first one, but I haven't gotten around to any of the other ones. I don't know. I would consider reading this if I were to get to it in the series. If I were to pick up Heartstopper again, I would absolutely read this book, but I am not very far in the series, so but maybe one day I will read this. Next is Anatomy of an Alibi by Ashley Elston. I did not read First Love Wins. I've heard pretty mixed things about that. I did want to read that book, but I just never got around to picking it up. So let's see what this one is about. Everyone at Chantilly's bar noticed out-of-towner Camille Bayliss, red lips, designer heels, sipping a Negroni, but that woman wasn't Camille Bayliss, it was Aubrey Price. Camille appears to have the picture-perfect life. She's married to hotshot lawyer Ben and is the daughter of a wealthy Louisiana family, only nothing is as it seems. Camille believes Ben has been hiding dirty secrets for years, but she can't find proof because he tracks her every move. Aubrey has been haunted by a terrible night that changed her life a decade ago, and she's convinced Benjamin knows something about it. Living in a house full of criminals, Aubrey understands there's more than one way to get to the truth, and she may have found the best way in. Aubrey and Camille hatch a plan. It sounds simple. For 12 hours, Aubrey will take Camille's place, Camille will spy on Ben, and the two women will get the answers they desperately seek, except the next morning, Ben is found murdered. Both women need an airtight alibi, but only one of them has it, and one false step is all it takes for everyone to come undone. I feel like I like the cover, but I can't say that the synopsis is doing anything for me. I feel like this is so negative so far, but like, these pictures aren't really interesting me. I don't know. Next, we've got One Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. Best friends have 1 week in paradise to fix their friendship or fall apart in this heart-stopping, utterly romantic new novel. Frankie and George have been best friends since they were 8 years old, both passionate, impulsive, and headstrong. They've always clashed and come back together until now. It's the eve of Frankie's wedding weekend, and she doesn't know where they stand or even if George will show up as her best man. Then, at the start of the festivities, in walks George. From one glorious evening surrounded by her loved ones, Frankie's life is finally perfect, but it all comes crashing down when her fiance dumps her the next morning, leaving only a note as an explanation. Crushed and confused, Frankie returns to her family's home to wallow, but George has a different idea and a plan for healing Frankie's broken heart. He wants her to go on her honeymoon with him for 1 week to the lush rainforests and misty beaches of Tofino. Frankie agrees, seeing that the trip, for what it really is, one last chance to repair their friendship, even if it means unearthing secrets and long-buried feelings neither knows how to handle, even if it means falling apart for good. I feel like I would read this. So I'm gonna add this to my want to read. I like Carly Fortune's books. I mean, bar like Every Summer After, I feel like that one was the only one that I kind of like didn't absolutely love, but I've liked the rest of her books that I've read, so I think I would read this. Next is The Storm by Rachel Hawkins. I've never read anything from Rachel Hawkins, so I can't really say that I would be super interested in this, but it looks like it's set in Alabama, which is where I'm from, so but this is set in 1984. It says St. Medard's Bay, Alabama is famous for 3 things: the deadly hurricanes that regularly sweep into town, the Rosalie Inn is a century-old hotel that survived every one of those storms, and Low Bailey, the local girl infamously accused of the murder of her lover, political scion Landon Fitzroy, during Hurricane Marie in 1984. When Geneva Corliss, the current owner of the Rosalie Inn, hears a writer is coming to town to research a crime that put St. Medard's Bay on the map, she's less interested in solving a whodunit than in how a successful true crime book might help the struggling inn's bottom line. But to her surprise, August Fletcher doesn't come to St. Medard's Bay alone. With him is none other than Lo Bailey herself. Lo says she returned to her hometown to clear her name once and for all, but the closer Geneva gets to both Lo and August, the more she wonders if Lo is actually back to settle old scores. As the summer heats up, another monster storm begins twisting its way towards St. Medard's Bay. Geneva learns that some people can be just as destructive and as deadly as any hurricane, and that the truth of what happened to Landon Fitzroy may not be the only secret Lo is keeping. Probably not. Next, The Last King of Fairy. This is book 1 in the Wicked Powers. The Wicked Powers' final trilogy in the Shadowhunter Chronicles. I don't know. I've read the first 2 series in the Shadowhunter series, and I just never got around to like the later series. I do have some of them, so I mean, maybe eventually I could see myself getting to this, but definitely not anytime soon. Next is The First Time I Saw Him. This is Hannah Hall number 2. Didn't read the first one, so can't say I will be adding this one to my TBR. Next, we've got Fury Bound by Sable Sorensen, and this is a want to read for sure. This is the second book in the Wolves of Ruin series. I read Dire Bound, really enjoyed it, so definitely will be reading this. Next is Victorious. This is Villains number 3 by B.E. Schwab. Haven't read the first ones, so for now this will not be on the list. Can't say I'll never read the first books, but for now it's going to be a no. Next we've got Light Wilder by Rachel Schneider. This is the second book in the Fire and Metal series after Metal Slinger. Still have not read the first book, so we'll be holding off putting this one on my TBR for now. Next is Bloodwing Academy number 3, The Wings That Bind. I read the first book in the series and didn't really like it, so I cannot say that I will be reading this book. So right now it's going to be a no. I might pick up the second one next year, but I don't know. Next, this is one that I've never heard of. So this one is called Wicked Onyx. This is the first book in the Veritas Legacy. It looks like there are some sort of like winged creatures on this book. So let's see. In a ruthless magical academy where she's cursed and powerless, the last Onyx must unravel dark family secrets and navigate dangerous alliances to reclaim her legacy and make those who betrayed her pay. You don't graduate Nightbridge Academy, you survive it. Born into a sorcerer bloodline, cursed and cut off from my power, I was accustomed to being an outcast. For generations, my bloodline carried the weight of a crime committed by our ancestor, but my mother's death changed everything. She left a clue that could prove our ancient text hidden deep beneath Nightbridge Academy. The Academy is a fortress of power housing the most dangerous enchanters and sorcerers, conscripted to keep horrors and echoes at bay. And as the last surviving Onyx, I'm owed admission. My plan is simple. Find the book and expose the Imperium as the liars they are. But I didn't plan for the whispers that haunt my dreams, for the complication of feelings I shouldn't be capable of, steered by 2 men bound to the very institution I've come to destroy. One sees too much yet says too little. The other is steady, protective, and always in my corner. I can't have either, yet when I'm in their presence, my curse begins to crack. If they discover my true purpose, I'm dead, but some truths are worth dying for. The Imperium cursed my bloodline, stripped us of our magic, branded us as traitors, and now they will pay. Hey, that sounds interesting to me. Let me see. Is this Why Choose, or is it... It is not, but it is a gothic, it looks like it's gothic, dark academia, romantasy. So I definitely am interested in this and I do want to read this. Next is Game On by Navessa Allen. This is the 3rd book in the Into Darkness series. I do want to read this. I have read books 1 and 2, so I do want to continue on with the series. Next we have The Book Witch by Meg Schaefer. I have read one Meg Schaefer book and I really enjoyed it, and I do have another one on my TBR, so I feel like I would be interested potentially in reading this. She can hop into any novel, she just can't stay there. Come along with The Book Witch in this magical and inspiring love letter to reading from the author of The Wishing Game. Rainey March is a proud 3rd generation book witch sworn to defend works of fiction from all foes, real and imaginary, with her magical umbrella and feline familiar. She jumps into and out of novels to fix malicious alterations and rogue heroes. I feel like I would be interested in this, so I do want to read this. Okay, next is Throne of Nightmares. This is Prince of Sin number 3 by Carrie Maniscalco. I read the first book, liked it enough. but never got to the second book, so I will be holding off on putting this on my TBR for now. Next is Rights of the Starling by Devaney Perry. This is this Shield of Sparrows book 2, and I do want to read this. I read Shield of Sparrows earlier this year and enjoyed it. Next, we've got Caller Unknown by Gillian McAllister. And this is another thriller. How far would you go to rescue your child? A mother races against the clock and finds herself on the wrong side of the law in a desperate fight to save her teenage daughter in this pulse-pounding thriller. I don't really know if I'm interested in this, so that's gonna be a no. Next is It Should Have Been You by Andrea Mara. Your neighbors have secrets. How far would they go to keep them? That's not really giving me much. You press send and your message disappears. Full of secrets about your neighbors. It's meant for your sister, but it doesn't reach her. It goes to the entire local community WhatsApp group instead. As rumors spread like wildfire through the picture-perfect neighborhood, you convince yourself that people will move on, that this will quickly be forgotten, but then you receive the first death threat. The next day, a woman has been murdered, and what's even more chilling is that she has the same address as you, 26 Oak Park, but in a different part of town. Did the killer get the wrong house? It won't be long before you find out. I am a little bit intrigued by that, actually. So, I think I do want to read this one. Next, we've got Adversary to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer, and I actually just unhauled the series, but I am definitely interested to know what's going to happen in the later books, but I do not want to read this book. Next, we've got The Shippers by Catherine Sinner, and I actually just got an arc of this book, so I do want to read this book. This is a rom-com about a destination wedding on a cruise ship, so I am interested in this. Next, we've got Queen of Faces by Petra Lord. I've never heard of this book, but I think the cover is absolutely stunning. It says, Annabelle Gage is trapped in a male body and is rotting from the inside out. In Kmore, where the magical elite buy and swap designer bodies like clothes, Anna can't afford to escape her tattered form. When she fails the entrance exam to the prestigious Paragon Academy, her last hope of earning a new body implodes. As the clock ticks down to her last breath, she is forced to use her illusion magic to steal a healthy chassis before her own kills her. But Anna is caught by none other than the headmaster of Paragon Academy, who poses a brutal ultimatum. Face execution for her crime or become a mercenary at his command. Revolt brews in Kmore's smug, choked underworld, and the wealthy and powerful will stop at nothing to take down the rebels and the infamous Dark Witch at their helm, the Black Wraith. But no choice but to accept. Anna will steal, fight, and kill her way to salvation, but her survival depends on a dangerous band of an impulsive assassin, a brooding bomb maker, and an alluring exile who might just spell her ruin. As Anna is drawn into a tangled web of secrets, the line between villain and hero shatters, and Anna must decide which side is worth dying for. Okay, that sounds really good to me. Want to read. Next is A Vow in Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez. Deadly tarot, wicked schemes, dangerous alliances. Can you survive the forge? I think I would be interested in this. I think I would want to read this, A Vow in Vengeance. What We Did to Survive by Megan Lawley. Don't really know if I'm into that. Next is Graceless Heart by Isabel Ibanez, a lush, atmospheric, and achingly magical standalone adult fantasy romance set in Renaissance Italy. I don't really know. I think I'm gonna wait for more reviews on this one. The Calamity Club by Catherine Stockett. This seems to be a historical fiction. I'm gonna pass on that one. I don't think that's really for me. Next, we've got Just Friends by Haley Pham. I do not want to read this book. Catch Her If You Can by Tessa Bailey. Also, can't say I want to read that one. The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clark. 6 authors, 1 private island, 72 hours to write the ending that will change their lives. I feel like maybe. Yeah, I feel like I'd want to read that one. Next is Fever Dream by Elsie Silver. I do know there has been some controversy around an arc of this book, so I don't know. I feel like very much use your own discretion at that, but I do want to read this book, so I'm gonna add it to my TBR. Next, 12 Months by Jim Butcher. Never heard of it. Deadbeat by Lee Bardugo, 3rd book in the Alex Stern. I DNF Night House, so that's gonna be a no for me. Cherry Baby by Rainbow Rowell. I will say I really like this cover. I don't think that this one is something that I'm interested in though. A Box Full of Darkness by Simone St. James. Siblings return to the house they fled 18 years before, called back by the ghost of their long missing brother and a haunting request to come home. Don't think so, not for that one. Cleopatra by Sarah El Arifi. Queen legend Cleopatra tells her own story in the evocation and sinuous historical epic Cleopatra from the best-selling and award-winning author of Faybound and the Final Strife. I read Faybound and I didn't love it, so I don't really know if this would be one that I'm interested in. You know my name, but you do not know me. Your historians call me a seductress, but I was always in love's thrall. Your playwrights speak of my witchcraft, but I was gifted my talents by the gods. Your poets sing of my bloodlust, but I was protecting my children. They cannot credit that a mere woman would be powerful, strategic, and divinely blessed to rule. Death will silence me no longer. This is not the story of how I died, but how I lived. I think I'll wait on some more reviews on that one. Next is Broken Dove. This is Silver Elite number 2. I do want to read this. I have pre-ordered it already. Next, The Tempest Blade, The Bridge Kingdom number 6. I've only read the first book, so this one is going to be a no for now. Wild Card by Stephanie Archer. This is an absolute want to read. I absolutely love this series and cannot wait for this book. I'm so excited about this one. You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. A relentless horror-inducing psychological suspense for fans of The Push and Baby Teeth by New York Times bestselling author C.G. Drews. This is gonna be a no for now. I'm gonna wait for more reviews on that one. What Boys Learn. A twisty, jaw-dropping psychological thriller that unravels a mother's worst nightmare that her child is capable of terrible violence when her teenage son becomes the suspect of the murder of 2 classmates. This one I feel like could be a maybe, but I'm just gonna say no for now. Next, we've got The Sun and the Star Maker by Rachel Griffin. This cover is so gorgeous. There once was a village so far from north that most considered it the top of the world, and in that village, the sun fell in love with her star maker. Nestled deep in the snowy mountains of the Lost Range, a small village of Reverie endures on a miracle. Beyond the reach of the sun, Reverie is dependent upon the magic of the mysterious star maker. Every morning, he trudges across the vast glacier and pulls in sunlight over the peaks, providing the village with the light it needs to survive. Aurora Finch grew up on the tales of Star Maker's magic, never imagined one day she'd meet him, but on the morning of her wedding, a fateful encounter in the Frostbitten Ones changes everything. The Star Maker senses the power of magic within her and demands she come study under his guidance. With her newfound abilities tied to survival of the village, Aurora is swept away in his ice-covered castle at the mountain's peak. The Star Maker is as cold and distant as the dark woods, leaving Aurora to explore his enchanted castle, only an immortal rabbit for company. Okay, I do think I want to read this one. Next, The Escape Game by Marissa Meyer and Tamara Moss. Don't really know. I'm interested in that. Not super into YA. The Lion and the Deathless Dark. This is Crowns of Nyaxia 5. It's gonna be a no for now. When I Kill You by B.A. Paris. The Keeper, Tana French. I don't know. I'm just not super into mysteries at the moment. I would be interested in them eventually, maybe if I ever get in the mood. Mistakes Were Made, Story Lake number 2. That's gonna be a no. The Bone Queen. I feel like that's a no. Everyone in This Bank is a Thief. Haven't read any of the rest of the series. Hunt the Villain. This is Villain number 2. Don't really know. I maybe would consider reading the first book. But for now, this is a no. We Who Have No Gods. This one's Dark Academia. I think I'm gonna wait on more reviews on this one. Don't really know. In Her Own League by Liz Tom Ford. I do want to read that. The Bride Bet. It's gonna be a no. Don't really like Regency books. We Were Never Friends. Sisters Forever Friends. Never. Who Knew a Reunion Weekend Could Be So Deadly? Yeah. Sorority Sisters of Theta Gamma. Yeah, that's gonna be a no for me. Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy. I do want to read this one. Daughter of Egypt by Marie Benedict. I don't think this one would be something that I'm really interested. The Knave and the Moon. This is the second book in the Stonewater Kingdom. Haven't read the first book yet, so this is going to be a no from now. The Swan's Daughter by Roshani Chachki. This is a very beautiful cover. Lush and romantic novel from New York Times bestselling author Roshani Chachki. A prince is only as good as his beating heart, and maiden is only as good as her honest word. But when love and truth become impossibly tangled, the two must figure out how to survive together or fall completely apart. I feel like I'm going to wait on more reviews for this one. Next is Happy Ending by Chloe Leese. This is a rom-com. I feel like I would want to read this one. I haven't read anything from this author before, but I feel like this is one that I would be interested in. The Wolf and the Crown of Blood. This is a dark romantasy by Elizabeth May. I think that I would be interested in this, so I'm gonna add this as one to read. Next is Finley Donovan. I read like the first 3 books in the series. I would potentially continue on the series, but I don't know, not for now. How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates. This is a humorous, swimmy, and downright terrifying horror romance in which a young woman gets caught in the middle of a murder spree. Okay, yeah, I do want to read that. That sounds good. How to Get Away with Murder by Rebecca Phillipson. I don't think so. The cover's not really doing anything for me. Nora Roberts, The Final Target. Again, another thriller not super interested in. Keeper of Lost Children. Don't really know. I think this one is a historical. Maybe if I heard a few reviews about this one. A Parade of Horribles. Dungeon Crawler Call. No. Agnes Albert's Mystical Cat Shelter. I feel like that one's gonna be a no as well. The One Day You Were My Husband. Tempting Venom. Vipers number 3 is also gonna be a no. Thistlemarsh. Fairies disappeared over 100 years ago and suddenly slipping through a doorway. It was only the very foolish and very determined who hoped to find their return. I think I'll wait for more reviews on that one. Most Eligible by Isabel Engel. Miss Congeniality meets The Bachelor in this action-packed rom-com debut about investigative journalist who sneaks into reality TV to fall for the wrong guy. I feel like I would like that. Unbound by Peyton Corian. This is the 3rd book in a series. I really like this cover, but it will be a no from now unless I end up reading anything else in the series. Next is Once and Again by Rebecca Searle, and yeah, I think this one's a no for now too. Elise Kova, Dragon Curse. I feel like I would be interested in this. I really like this cover. The Caretaker by Marcus Clearwater. Yes, this has caretaking to do with it, and I love mystery and thrillers with that in it, so I am interested in this one. Fae and Alchemy number 3 by Kelly Hart. Absolutely want to read that. Across the Vanishing Sky by Catherine Cowles. I'm unsure about that one. And Nana Morta by Ava Reed. A gothic fantasy about necromancy. I think I'll wait on more reviews for that one. Honor and Hearsay by Max Francis. Don't think so. Lady Tremaine. Also don't think so. This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me by Alona Andrews. I don't think so. The Girls Before, Kate Alice Marshall is going to be probably not. Rings of Fate by Melissa De La Cruz. Is this? Probably not for that one. The Last Book Club, also probably no. The Unwritten Rules of Magic. Midnight at the Celestial. I feel like this one is going to be a want to read. Sweet Vengeance by Tracy Wolfe is going to be a no. Crown of War and Shadow by J.R. Ward. I feel like yes. A Killer Kind of Romance. I feel like this one will be a maybe. I'll wait for more reviews on that one. The Odds of You by Kate Dramas. Once is a Choice, Twice is Fate. Sage Collins knows a thing or two about odds. A year ago, she was data analyst and she burned all down to pursue her dream of becoming an author. Okay, I think I would be interested in this one. Want to read. And then number 99 is Wolfworm by T. Kingfisher. I've never read anything by T. Kingfisher, so I feel like this one's a maybe. And then we have The Secret World of Briar Rose by Cindy Pham, and this is a Sleeping Beauty retelling. I feel like this one is a maybe. I think I will probably wait for more reviews on this one as well. But those are the top 100. The list does keep going on, but I am going to stop there for some of the most popular releases that will be coming out in 2026. I have added a few to my TBR that I'm excited about, and hopefully I will continue to find more books that I'm excited about as we get into the new year. But I wanted to talk over some of them with you guys and just see kind of what I'm interested in next year and what I might not be. So yeah, that is going to be all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. I will have all my social media linked in the description. If you made it to this point in the video, leave the rose emoji to let me know that you made it. And with that being said, thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.